Ever just stop and think about the invisible forces that are, holding our entire world together? Let's play with one of them. We're going to ask a really wild question. What if gravity, the very thing keeping your feet planted on the ground, suddenly got weaker? I mean, right this second, as you're watching this, there's this invisible force just anchoring you. The device you're on, even the very air in your lungs. It's like this silent, constant guardian of our reality. But just imagine if that guardian, I don't know, decided to ease up a bit. What would actually happen if the most fundamental rule we know, that everything falls down, suddenly changed? The consequences, well, they're way more dramatic than you might think. See, here's the thing. Gravity does so much more than just keep us from floating away. It's like a cosmic conductor, masterfully holding our precious atmosphere around us like a blanket and locking the Earth and Moon into this perfect, life-sustaining dance. Okay, so let's start small. We're not talking about zero gravity here, just a tiny, maybe even unnoticeable little tweak. What would a world with just 10% less gravity feel like? Just 10%. I mean, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, does it? At first, it would probably feel like a dream come true. You'd wake up one day feeling lighter, almost buoyant, kind of like you're walking on the moon. And this is where it would seem really fun, right? You could suddenly jump higher, dunk a basketball with no problem. Every single athletic world record would be completely shattered, probably in a single day. It sounds like the entire planet just got a superpower upgrade. But that incredible feeling of fun? It would start to fade. And it would be replaced by this creeping sense of dread. See, our entire world is built on one simple assumption: our current gravity. And that assumption is about to catastrophically fail. And this is where the hidden dangers start to pop up. All of our bridges and buildings, designed with super precise calculations, would start to weaken, to shift. The oceans, held in this delicate balance by the moon and sun, would have these totally chaotic and unpredictable tides. And maybe the worst part, over time, our atmosphere would literally start to just bleed away into space, making the very air we breathe thinner and thinner. All right, let's push this even further. 10% was already a slow-motion disaster. So what happens when we hit the chaos point? What happens if we just cut gravity in half? 50%. This is not a subtle shift anymore. This is a total, complete breakdown of the physical rules that we all live by. The world would become fundamentally broken. Every single object now weighs half of what it used to. So, yeah, things would be incredibly easy to lift, but they'd also be dangerously hard to control. The world just becomes unpredictable. The simple act of walking feels wrong. And driving a car? Forget about it. It would be a nightmare. Your vehicle loses a massive amount of the traction that's keeping it on the road in the first place. And that leads to this: uncontrollable. Everything, from a pilot trying to land a plane to you just pouring a glass of water, is now governed by this new, chaotic set of physics. Our instincts, our technology, none of it would be prepared. And this just puts it in stark numbers. With only half the gravity, things like vehicle traction and aircraft stability just plummet. The predictable motion we rely on for literally everything, from a construction crane to our own sense of balance, it's just gone. It's a world where nothing stays put. So far, we've only been talking about Earth. But believe it or not, the real catastrophe isn't what's happening on our planet, it's what's happening to our planet. We have to zoom out to the cosmic scale. Welcome to the cosmic domino effect. First, the moon's delicate orbit starts to change. It begins to drift away from us. All our vital satellites for communication and GPS, they just float off into the void. And then, the most terrifying step of all, Earth itself would start to veer off its stable path around the sun, sending our climate and seasons into absolute collapse. With a destabilized orbit, Earth could either drift away into the freezing cold of deep space or spiral in closer to the sun and burn up. Either way, the conditions that make life possible here would be completely erased. The end wouldn't be quick. It would be a slow, unavoidable march to extinction. So, wow. After that little journey into total chaos, let's just pull back for a second and try to get a new appreciation for this force we almost never think about. Just think about it. All of that stability, from our planet's perfect orbit all the way down to your ability to just stand up, it all comes from one simple, invisible constant. It's the ultimate unsung hero of our existence. So the next time you drop your keys, or maybe you see an apple fall from a tree, just take a second. That simple little moment isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's this profound reminder that the universe is working perfectly to hold your entire world together. We've gone through collapsing buildings and planets flying out of orbit. But what about the smaller, weirder stuff? What's the most bizarre, unexpected consequence you can think of if gravity suddenly got weaker? Drop your best ideas down in the comments below. I really want to see what you come up with. And hey, if you enjoyed this little thought experiment, be sure to like this explainer and hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. It's a pretty good reminder, right? That the most fundamental forces are often the ones we notice the least. That is, until they're gone.